Landlocked countries are those who are surrounded by land and have no access to water. There are two types of landlocked countries, one being able to develop and another that stagnates. This is due to the type of neighbors each country has. For instance, Uganda has bad neighbors while Switzerland has good ones. This can be defined by the infrastructure that the neighbors have and the ability the landlocked countries have to access the water to be able to export their own goods. This can either help or limit the landlocked countries.
Depending on the amount of natural resources a landlocked country has, the situation might change because it will define their ability to export. Also, coastal countries serve the world, while landlocked neighbors are only able to trade and export to neighboring countries. Landlocked countries who have no access to the sea are resource scarce and have problems with neighbors who are most likely to stagnate. Inside Africa, around 30% of the population lives in landlocked and resource scarce countries, which limit their growth and, as a result, are in poverty.
This keeps on happening because the landlocked countries don't always have good relationship with their neighbors, which then leads them to not being able to use their ports and export their goods.
Landlocked countries also rely on their neighbors through donations as they are resource scarce countries, and sometimes their neighbors are not willing to become donors as they are also of middle income status, with no ability to donate to the neighboring landlocked country.
What increases the danger of our trap is that since goods take twice as long to export and they are more expensive,
The country has a small chance to develop and grow economically, which then leads them to poverty, as seen in Africa.
there are some ways that the countries can break out of this trap. For instance, if they increase neighbor growth spillovers, this means in part greasing the wheels of trade within the landlocked nation, hoping it will spill over the neighboring countries. So basically, if they help the infrastructure of the neighboring countries, they will potentially be able to export more goods to foreign countries and other continents. Also, by easing their trade agreements, they will be able to export more easily.
Another way the country can break out of the landlocked trap is to not be airlocked or e-locked, which allows them to trade through airplanes and have good telecommunication infrastructure while having workers with post-primary education, so they're able to trade through the internet and transport their goods through the air.